Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, then hello! Today we are serving some Wednesday Addams inspired looks. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I am absolutely obsessed with the new Wednesday series, and I cannot wait until season 2 comes out. But besides that, I have a new video I want to make for you guys today. I actually just want to show you guys all of my cat geckos. The cat gecko species that I like to keep is A. felinus. There is different types of cat geckos out there, such as A. dorsalis. So in the beginning, I just had my one cat gecko, Salem, who is a male that I acquired off of Kijiji. He came with his habitat and everything and was a pretty good price, so I scooped him right up because I had heard about these guys and I thought they were really cool. But now I have about 5 Malaysian cat geckos. My second Malaysian cat gecko actually came from my friend Emma Sampson. I did a video on that about a year ago now, and even though I've had him for quite some time now, I still have not given him a name. I'm still looking for names for some of my Malaysian cat geckos, so if you guys have any cool name suggestions, leave them in the comment section down below. The third Malaysian cat gecko I was very excited to get, and she was my first female Malaysian cat gecko. The females are a lot larger than the males are, but I got her from a place called Exotic Attic. So once I got her and she settled in, I was able to pair her with my first male Malaysian cat gecko that I got. And not too long after, I swear it was only like 3 or 4 months that I had had her for, and she had already laid eggs. I didn't know that she had laid eggs in the enclosure already because I thought that it was too soon for some reason for her to be breeding, but looks like they got to work rather quickly, and before I knew it, I found 2 baby Malaysian cat geckos just kind of running around the enclosure at nighttime. It seems like they hatched at some point in October, and I've been keeping them ever since, just to grow them and get a little bit of experience with keeping the young Malaysian cat geckos. But I also have a hatchling. It is so teeny tiny and adorable and small. I am super excited to show you guys what they look like and how they're doing, and just giving you guys a bit of an update since I haven't been on YouTube in a while. If you like this video, then be sure to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see updates on my pets and videos like this in the future. So we're gonna go from biggest to smallest in this video. So we're gonna be starting off with my 2 oldest breeding pair of Malaysian cat geckos. So this enclosure here houses Salem and Catra, and this enclosure probably looks a little bit different than how it did in my last video. I'm currently trying to remodel a little bit. I'm always messing around with the enclosures because I'm just never completely happy and satisfied with my builds. Plants die, or I decide I would prefer this plant over that plant, and blah 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 blah. So hopefully this vivarium will look a lot nicer in time. Sometimes I can find my cat geckos sleeping out in the open or tucked under some leaves somewhere. They're actually ridiculously good at hiding. I don't even know where they go in the daytime. Oh, I found where one of them is. She is actually tucked back in one of the flower pots back here. This is my female Malaysian cat gecko, Catra. I had a feeling I would find her first since she tends to be in spots that are a little bit more accessible than my male is. I'm gonna take her out for you guys. So this is my beautiful female Catra. She is probably the most stunning Malaysian cat gecko I have ever seen. Ow! She gave me a little bite there. She doesn't like being handled, so I don't want to handle her for too long, so I'm just going to get into it really quickly. I've had her for almost a year now, but she's already produced 3 babies for me so far. It seems these guys will lay a clutch of 2 eggs at a time. I did end up finding another clutch of eggs from her, but unfortunately the eggs were no good. Part of me thinks that maybe they just weren't fertile. A part of me also wonders if she just maybe didn't lay them in a good spot. I'm not too sure. But when I had found the eggs, there was a hole in it and they were already being eaten by isopods. I was kind of bummed out about that, so when she laid another set of eggs, I was very excited and thought removing them from the enclosure this time would be better than leaving them in there due to what happened last time. I also have a video clip of when I did find her after she had just laid her eggs. If I can gently remove her and see if Oh, guys, Malaysian cat gecko eggs with mom proudly sitting on them. When I found the batch of eggs that she had just laid, she was still sitting on them, which I thought was really cool. And she was getting a little bit defensive, which made me feel a little bad, but I thought it was really cool how she used her coiled up tail and flashed it at me to kind of, I guess, make herself look a little bit bigger and intimidating. I let her chill out a bit before I removed the egg because, as I said, I felt a little bit bad about just taking them from her. But I was just so worried that the eggs would go bad like last time. Despite the efforts of removing the eggs this time, they still went bad. But yeah, that's my beautiful female Catra. We'll take a look at her one more time. Pretty girl. And I'm not going to disturb her anymore, so I'm going to go put her back. There you go, lady. Now, finding my male is a completely different story. Sometimes he's under this like mushroom under here, but clearly he's not, so I have no idea where he could be. Oh, actually, I think I found him. He is actually curled up in this dead leaf right here. There he is, all snuggled up in that leaf right there. And he's sleeping upright actually, which is pretty cute. So here he is, he's still doing well, and he got along with my female very quickly when I had introduced them. The difference between him and my female is quite outstanding. When you see them side by side, you can see that the females are quite larger in comparison to the males. He also doesn't have that striking color and pattern that I noticed my other cat geckos do, because look how like washed out his pattern is. It's very, very subtle. He's rather bland to be quite honest, but I still love him and I still think he's a great cat gecko. Regardless, I just want to show you guys how Salem's doing, even though you guys have seen him before, and he's doing rather well. Alright, so I've just put him back. He's a little bit freaked out and defensive. I usually don't handle these guys or take them out often, as I really don't like to. He's a little upset that I woke him up during the day. They're not much of a handling animal, as I've mentioned before. They're kind of more of just a reptile that you would appreciate and observe. They're just very delicate. Alright, so we've met the oldest pair of cat geckos. Now we're gonna go a few enclosures up. And we're gonna go to my third oldest Malaysian cat gecko. This is the one that I got from my friend Emma, and I've had him now for about a year and a half now. It's crazy how time flies. This one, I remember that me and Emma were both hoping would be female so that I could pair her with Salem, but she ended up being a he. But I didn't want to rehome him because I started to become a little bit attached to him, so I ended up just keeping him. I want to look for him quickly. Usually he's like on one of these leaves back here or something, and I'll pull him out and show you guys. Alright, so here he is. So this is my other Malaysian cat gecko. So cute, and he also looks a little bit different than some of my other cat geckos. Definitely one of the most noticeable features about him is that he has that stripe going down his back there that my other cat geckos don't have. He's grown into a really pretty male, and he has a lot more pattern than my other male does. I love how the cat geckos all look so different and unique, even when they come from the same parents. This is one of the cat geckos I still don't have a name for yet. So again, if you can think of a name for this little guy, leave it in the comment section down below. He's starting to get a lot bigger now, so I'm currently in the middle of slowly setting up a 18 by 18 enclosure for him. Currently, he's been living in this 12 by 12 by 18 enclosure here, but he's soon gonna get upgraded to an 18 by 18 enclosure that I have right back here. This shelf here is still a work in progress, but the plan eventually is to have Salem and Catra's enclosure down there next to this new cat gecko enclosure that I'm building so that I can finally fill up this shelf. So the goal is basically to have both my Malaysian cat geckos living side by side. I really couldn't bear the thought of rehoming him just because he was a male, so I thought it'd be a good idea to keep him around for another breeding project. I'd say he's about full grown now. I don't think he's gonna get too much bigger than this. This is around the size that my other male Malaysian cat gecko is. I'm happy that he's been doing really well. Alright, I'm gonna put this little cutie back into his enclosure now. All right, so now we're moving on to the babies, which means we're moving on to my bedroom. So the babies that I'm going to show you guys were hatched in October of last year. I have one baby in this enclosure and one baby in this enclosure here. These two babies right here were produced by Salem and Katra, and I'm currently holding them back because I want to see what sex they're going to be. I've been keeping them for about 6 months now, and I'm hoping that in another few months I'll be able to determine the sex. So I'm currently going to show you the first one down here, which is the one that I'm most excited about because I have a feeling it's gonna be female. I could very well be wrong, but it just has some really nice patterning to it, so I'm really excited to show you guys. I'm just gonna have to try to look for her for a second. All right, here she is. At least I'm hoping that it's a she. She is just so pretty and has such nice patterning to her. Currently, she's in this 12 by 12 by 12 enclosure, but soon I'll be upgrading her to a 12 by 12 by 18, which is the enclosure that Emma's cat gecko is in right now. She is one of the first babies that I've hatched, so I'm really hoping that I can hold on to her. The goal is that once she's big enough and once I'm able to determine her sex, I would love to pair her with Emma's cat gecko so that I can have a captive bred breeding pair of Malaysian cat geckos. That introduction is still a while away and I still have yet to determine her sex officially, so that's not happening anytime soon. This is also one of the cat geckos that I don't have a name for, so if you guys have any name suggestions, leave me a comment down below. Look at her though, guys. She's just so pretty and cute. Really hoping that she'll be female. I really want to keep her because she's just so pretty. But I'm just gonna go put her back now. Come on, little lady. Check it out. There you go. So the second baby cat gecko is actually just in the enclosure above this one. They hatched at around the exact same time. I did find them in the adult enclosure together. Now the reason that I have these cat geckos in two separate enclosures is actually because this one right here was actually a bit of a runt. So I wanted to separate them to make sure that it had a fair chance at growing without the worry of the other cat gecko overpowering it. But we're gonna take a look in this enclosure and we're gonna try to find where he is. So here's the other baby right here. He still is a little bit smaller than the other one I just showed you, but he's got some really nice dark marking on his tail there, which I really like. He is a lot bigger and stronger now, which is amazing. So I could honestly put them back together, but I'm just gonna keep them separate just because they've been growing up like that so far. I was thinking about selling this one because there's only so many Malaysian cat geckos I can keep, guys. Oh, he's going for a little walk now with my arm. So if you guys are interested in this little fella and you're in Canada, you can send me a message on Instagram or through email. I was actually worried at first that this Malaysian cat gecko wasn't gonna make it because of how small and like scrawny he was when I first found him. But as you can see, he's grown up quite nicely. He's healthy, he's a good weight, super cute little dude, and I'm glad that he's doing a lot better now. And I'm also gonna be upgrading him soon to a bigger enclosure. I might just upgrade him to the one that's below him down here since it's a little bit bigger than what he's in right now. All right, I'm gonna put this little guy back. Whoa. All right, so he's just gonna go back into his little habitat now and go back to sleep. Go. So we're back in the reptile room so that I can show you guys the last baby Malaysian cat gecko. This one actually hatched not too long ago. I started making this video actually like 2 months ago, and it's just been taking me forever to finish. But this little guy hatched in February. So he's only about 3 months old. He's currently in this little enclosure here, which is an 8 by 8 by 8. They are so small when they hatch, so having just a little enclosure like this is good for him for the first 2 to 3 months. All right, let's see if we can look for him. Here he is right here. He's just kind of sleeping on this leaf here. All right, so this is the last baby Malaysian cat gecko that I have currently. You can see he is so small, but you can only imagine how small he was when he hatched only 3 months ago. This little guy hatched on his own, so it makes me think that maybe there was another egg that was laid with his, and it just either didn't hatch or went bad or something like that. Their eggs just are really sensitive. He's actually grown quite a bit since he's hatched, so he's a lot bigger now than what he once was. Just a little pipsqueak. When these guys first hatch, they usually don't display much color and pattern. It usually comes a little bit along the way after about, I'd say, 2 to 3 months. They look rather plain when they first come out of the egg. Honestly, when I first found the hatchlings, I was a little disappointed because of how plain they looked, only to realize down the line that the more they age, the nicer they look. Not that I wouldn't love them as much, but I was hoping that mom would pass down her good looks. But she did. This little guy will probably be with me for a little bit longer, but he will be available soon when I feel that he's grown enough. He's almost there. So yeah, that was all my Malaysian cat geckos that I currently have. Nothing too crazy, but just wanted to give you guys an update on them, tell you guys the plans that I have for them in the future, and to also have more cat gecko content out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then don't forget to check out my other social media, which you can find through all my links in the description box down below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.